Good morning, crew, and welcome back to my channel, unless of course you guys are new around here, in which case, hi, hello, my name is Ashley, but they call me Atru. In today's video, I am going to be talking about how I am doing, how I am liking everything at my new job. If this is the first video you have ever seen from me, just to catch you up, about a month or two ago, July 19th, I lost my job and I was super devastated, super depressed, didn't want a new one, obviously had no choice but to get a new one, and the first couple weeks at it were very hard. I think I was still majorly grieving my last job, and so I wasn't excited, I wasn't into it. I also had lost two really important people to me at that time, and so it was just a lot of loss, a lot of dealing with grief all at once, and I was just having a hard time. I wasn't enjoying my job, I wasn't enjoying the new experiences, the new people, or anything like that. Also, if you don't know or are new around here, I'm an RBT, so I work with kids who are on the autism spectrum, and I love my job. I love what I do. It's the best job ever, and I worked for a company for about a year and a couple months, and then that company closed down. So it was not my choice to leave. I didn't get fired. I didn't like break a rule or anything and get in trouble, but nonetheless, I lost my job. And the job that I took, while I'm still doing the same thing, I'm still an RBT, is indeed very different. So I thought, now that I have been a month in, my first day there was August 9th, and it is now September 14th. So I'm officially a month in, and I thought it would just be fun to talk about the pros and cons, the similarities and the differences. Obviously, I won't be going into too much detail because of, privacy and respect for the company I work for, HIPAA laws, all that fun stuff. But I'm going to be doing my face care routine while we talk, because I just feel like it's more fun than me just like sitting and talking to you like this, So I guess the biggest difference, I'm sorry, I think it's crooked, hold on. Okay, yeah, that's better. Okay, so one of the biggest differences, if not the biggest, is that at my old company, I used to work in-home, and I only had two clients, and both of those clients, I was their only RBT. So that meant I was their only therapist. And it was that way for, well over a year. And then I went to this place, and this place is in clinic, and I share my kiddos with everyone. So I wouldn't even say like my kiddos. I mean, I don't have every kid on the roster, but I have about 4 of them. So I have a good chunk, and each of those kids has 2, 3, maybe even 4 different RBTs. So that was something to get used to, like rotating the kids and not having, I have the same kids not every day, but I certainly have like the same schedule every week, although it does seem like the schedules kind of change every month at this place. Like every month they kind of update it and maybe rotate everyone if need be. When I originally interviewed, they said it was done like seasonally, so like spring, winter, summer, fall, but just with a lot of things going on with them, they're doing it a little early, I think. So I think my schedule may change as soon as October, which is fine. I like to think I'm really easygoing, and I'm fine with anything, and the more hours the better. Which brings me to another difference. I wouldn't say it's a pro or a con, it's just a difference. At this place, they have kind of set blocks of hours that the kids can be in the clinic, and that you have them, obviously. So those are your only options for working. Like, you either take those blocks or you don't work. Whereas at my last company, we got to choose, well, the families really got to choose whatever time they wanted to start and stop session. As long as that child had that amount of hours available for therapy, they could have those amount of hours. So for instance, at my last job, I saw one of my kiddos for 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. And then my other one, I saw them 3 days a week for 3 hours a day and 2 hours a week, or 2 hours a day, 2 days a week. So some days I would see her for 3 hours, some days I would see her for 2. And it was just whatever times they wanted them. I mean, I had the same schedule every week, but like the parents got to decide, you know? And then versus this place that has their set block schedule. I'm gonna get my toner pads, hold on. Yeah, so that was something that I really had to like get used to, because I was used to having the same kids every day for over a year. I was used to, you know, not having any coworkers basically. That's been something that I've actually kind of enjoyed, is getting to have coworkers. But even working in a clinic with a bunch of different people and a bunch of different kids all at once, like, has its drawbacks. Obviously, if your kid starts to maladaptively behave or like go into behaviors, there's a lot of eyes, you know? There's a lot of people looking to see what you're doing. Not that anyone is ever like judgmental. They're really supportive. They'll always ask like, do you need help? Do you need anything? Can I get you or them something, like, you know? But sometimes it's nice to just be, I don't know, kind of isolated when a kid is in behaviors, because it's less attention that's being given to them, I guess. I don't know. It depends on the kid and the situation and why they're going into behaviors, but some days I appreciate the support, and then other times I'm just like, guys, back off. Like, it's fine. It's fine. Kids cry. Kids cry, no matter what. Whether they have autism or not. Like, kids cry. The kid's okay. But in those moments where it is overwhelming, it is really nice to have that backup and support. Again, not a pro or a con, just a difference from my last job. Does anyone see my moisturizer? I didn't really know any of my coworkers from my last job. The only one I knew was my best friend Amber, who you guys know. Or if you don't know, if you're new here, she's my lifesaver. But even then, we didn't work together because we did in-home sessions. And so I went to my kid's house and she went to her kid's house. And so did every other RBT. Like, nobody was with the other unless you got a pair of siblings, which did happen to me twice. But Amber was never on those cases with me. Yeah, I would say it's gotten better in the last like 2 weeks than it was in the beginning. I don't know if I'm just doing better. Like, don't get me wrong, there are still nights when I cry myself to sleep, but not really over the job anymore, which is nice. It's growing on me, but there are times every day where I'm just like, oh, I miss my old job, you know? And I know that I'm a broken record at this point for people who aren't new here. But I just think that it wouldn't be so sad and so hard for me if it had been my choice to leave my old job, but it wasn't. It was forced on me. I had no choice, and therefore it's just been hard to let go of, you know? I'm not a person who likes goodbyes. I'm not a person who likes change that is forced on me. I don't mind if I'm the one changing them. As RBTs, we have to do these things called notes, and again, I won't go into like super details, but I will say that this new company that I work for, their notes are like 10 times harder than my old companies. Okay, so like I said, I used to work in-home. One of the things that's nice about working in a clinic is like you're in one spot all day. You don't have to drive from place to place. I got really lucky at my old job, and my kids' houses were like 4 minutes apart. So I never had to deal with like driving across town from client to client, but I know lots of other people did. What was I saying? Right. So one of the nice things about working in the clinic is that there's somewhere to eat. I did used to have to like eat in my car, or I never had anywhere to like put my lunch. I could either leave it in the car or bring it in with me. But like at this place, they have a kitchen, and so there's like a toaster oven if I needed to cook something. There's a microwave, there's a refrigerator. You know, it's just, that is really one nice aspect of it that I'm enjoying. I can't really say that I like my coworkers more than I liked my last job's coworkers, because like I said, I didn't know anyone except for Amber, and obviously I love her. So but I do enjoy the people that I work with for the most part. Like I've met some really nice people that make going to work really enjoyable. I wouldn't say that I have the bond with the kids that I did with my other two clients, and I think that's just because, again, I saw those clients 5 days a week, you know, for hours every day for over a year, like a year and 3-4 months, versus these kids who have multiple RBTs. And so, you know, we just don't get that same kind of pairing or that same type of level. But, you know, that's really good in the long-term sense for the child, for them to be able to generalize and work with everybody. I do kind of miss having that dynamic. I meant to like write a list you know, so that way I wouldn't forget anything. So I feel like those are the biggest differences, like, you know, working in-home versus clinic, having coworkers, not having coworkers, being the sole RBT for a kid versus sharing that kid with several other people. Like, I feel like those were the things that I really had to get used to, and that when I walked in there on my first couple days and I was like, oh, like, this isn't the only kid you have? What do you mean? Or like, your schedule changes all the time? Like, whoa, like mine didn't change for a year and a half. All right, well, I know this video wasn't super exciting. I didn't spill a lot of tea, I know. I was thinking about doing like pros and cons of my new job, but I just feel like at the end of the day, they're not really pros and cons. They're more differences versus similarities of my old job. Like, if this was the first place I ever worked at, I don't think I would have any cons, if that makes sense, you know? Like, it's only because I have something to compare it to, and because I loved what it's being compared to so much, it's almost not an even playing field, you know? So I don't think I have any pros and cons to list. I will say, when I lost my job, there was a part of me that was like, do I even want to continue doing what I'm doing? Like, do I even still want to be an RBT? You know, if this kind of stuff can happen and then you're just out of a job, you lose your clients. Like, again, I'm not somebody who likes goodbyes, and losing those 2 kids, I mean, gutted me. It felt like a death in the family. And there were a lot of other things that came with being an RBT that I just wasn't really aware of, you know, when I started, and a lot of that was inconsistency in some areas. I don't feel like it's very ethical for me to talk about them in detail, but let's just say with like hours and making sure you got a paycheck kind of situations, which like I have not run into in this new place. But most of that has to do with like insurances and stuff, not really like the company that you work for. So hopefully that's okay to say. I'm not trying to like put anyone down or diss anything, but it was just something that I thought about, like, do I really want to keep putting up with this, you know? Or like, do I want to go find a job where I can have a steady source of income and like my paychecks will be the same as long as I'm, you know, not late and don't miss a day. But ultimately, I decided that like that tiny little con, no matter what company I worked for, was just not enough to keep me from this profession that I have fallen so much in love with, you know? And I mean, kids are my passion. They always have been. I love kids. And so I feel like that's kind of what makes me a good RBT. I kind of suck at like all the technical stuff with it, the ABA terminology, especially using it in an eloquent manner. Like, I suck at writing my notes, but at the end of the day, I feel like I have a lot of passion and compassion and empathy and patience to work with kids on the spectrum, not on the spectrum. It's just getting to spend my entire day with a bunch of little kids, or even older. Like at my old company, my oldest kid was 13. Now she's 14. So, but just getting to spend your day with these kids who, I don't know, just show you what's important in life every day, who get, like, I have this one little boy, he's one of my new clients at my new company, and I mean, when that kid swings on a swing, you would think that you just handed him a 7-day, all-expense, free paid trip to Disneyland. I mean, his excitement level for a swing or just jumping on the trampoline, and I mean, he comes there every day. Every day. It's not like he, you know, never doesn't have these things. And every day when he gets on it, he's having the time of his life. I feel like kids just show you the best parts of the world. You know, kids don't care what color your hair is, how many piercings or tattoos you have, if you have a college degree, if you don't have a college degree, how much you weigh, what side of town you come from, what kind of car you drive. Kids just want you to play with them, they want you to love them, and they want you to open their snacks for them. So, I mean, who wouldn't want to hang out with people like that? Like, that's just, they're so easygoing, they're so, the little things, the simple things. And I mean, a kid's laugh, name a better sound. Exactly, you can't. And the cool thing about being an RBT is like you get to give the kids back. I mean, don't get me wrong, obviously there are hard parts. Any parent out there can tell you. And again, whether your child is on the spectrum or not, you know, their cries, their screams, their screeches, their whines, those are not the best sound in the world, and they're not so fun to listen to. And there are times where they'll bring you to your knees and they'll bring you to tears and they make you want to tear your hair out, or maybe they already tried, but then they smile at you, or they finally say their name, or they finally make eye contact with you, or they learn something new, or at the end of the day, even though you fought all day, they run and give you a hug before they leave. Or, you know, if you're the parent, like, they tell you they love you while you put them to bed without being prompted, and you're just like, oh my God, it was all worth it. It was all worth it, you know? And so I just feel really lucky that I get to get paid to do that. And it's the best job ever. I still leave my job every day feeling really lucky that it's my job. At my old company, I used to like get in the car and think like I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky that this is my job. I can't believe that I just got paid to do that. I can't believe it. And I think with time I'll get there with this job, but that feeling of being so lucky and so blessed that like this is my profession and this is what I'm doing has not gone away. I think, you know, as I'm there longer than a month and I do start to build more friendships with the other RBTs and the other relationships with the kids, that feeling will come again. People, like the coworkers that I have, they've all been so great. Everyone has been so welcoming and so eager to help me. It's just been really great. I'm really happy that it's getting better. I wish I could sit here and be like, everything's cured, I'm not sad anymore, like everything's fine. But you know, there still is that sadness when I think about what I've lost. I think it'll just take a little more time for me to not dwell on what I've lost so much and so frequently, and I'm working on that, and I can feel it getting better, you know, day by day. Gotta take it a day at a time. So that's just what I'm trying to do, and I'm happy to report that a month in, it has gotten better, you know. It isn't at the best yet, but it has gotten so much better. I'd say we were at like a 5% when we started, and we've creeped up to like 45% better. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this little update. Thanks for watching me do my skincare. My skin feels nice and soft now. I'm ready to hit the hay. I am so tired. And I have to be back up again tomorrow to do it all from 8 to 6 again. If you guys like this video, pretty please give it a thumbs up. It really supports me and my channel more than you guys know. And if you guys liked me, pretty please hit that subscribe button. It really supports my mental health more than you guys know. I post new videos every Sunday and Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. No, 11:15 a.m. Pacific time. And yeah, I think that's everything. So, okay, love you, bye.